All right. So, hey, thank you guys for coming and sitting in our video of the hip joint. So, you can turn and look. This is the female and male basketball team. These are the smart ones. All right. So, again, thank you guys very much for our video, and I hope everyone enjoys it. All right. So, starting with the hip joints. Okay, basically, all we're going to do is understand one of the four major articulations of the human body. Okay, it's the hip. All right, the hip is a major part of your body because it's the major weight-bearing part of the body, right? So does anybody know how many times your body can be held by your weight, by your hip?
5 times a person's body weight.
5 times a person's body. How should you know that? 5 times a person's body.
I thought it was 4.
No, it's 5. It's 5 times Serge. All right? Good job. So when you think about, yeah, it's on the board. Good job. So when you think about the hip and it's connected by the bone, what's the largest part of the bone that goes into the socket of the hip?
Femur.
It is the femur. Okay, it is the femur. And why is the femur so important to the socket of the hip? What you want to know?
Because the muscle covering it.
We're talking about the bone, though. Talking about the bone only. You know that? So it probably won't be up there. Why? Because it's the most pliable structure, right, in your body. So, for example, your tibialis, right, could not be up here into your hip, right, because it's too small. Understand? Pretty simple. All right? So the hip joint, like I said, is a socket and joint formed where the thigh, up here, okay, the femur, meets 3 bones, okay, make up through the pelvis. So it's the ilium, the ischium, and the pubis. So everyone stand up. All right, so once you place your 2 fingers, okay, right on top of the bone, you feel right there. So what's that right here? You feel that little knobby part? What's that called? Well, it's a part of your hip. So you can guess. It's one of those 3, so you can guess.
Ilium.
That's right, it's the ilium. Okay? So where's our ischium? Where do you think we can find the ischium?
On the back.
Yeah, in the back, in the rear. Very good. Thank you, you're smart. And the pubis? Where's the pubis?
Side. Middle.
That's right, the pubis is the body part. Right? Very good. Have a seat. So when we talk about the movement, the movement and motion of the hip, we talk about 4 major things: flexion, extension, adduction, adduction. All right? So how about you 2 give me flexion? What is flexion? Perfect. That's hip flexion. Really simple. Can you guys give me extension? Perfect. That's hip extension. Adduction? That's right, moving away from the midline. And adduction. Perfect, coming back to the midline. Very good. The hip also can rotate internally, so medially, right? So it can come into your body, right? It can also go the other way externally. It can move laterally. Okay, so turning it in and out. So you have the 4 movements of the body, right? And also can turn in and also can turn out. Fairly simple. Any questions? Right, so the hip joint is a synovial joint. What is the synovial fluid? Does anyone know what that is? So the synovial fluid lies between your femur, right? And a little socket, the ball that goes on top of your socket that goes into your hip. Okay, it gives it fluid. So anyone know what that's kind of made up of? No? It's kind of a yolky, kind of eggy kind of material that sits in there that gives it lubrication. It forms a primary connection between the bones and the lower limb and the axis of the skeleton and the trunk and the pelvis. It's a cup-like. So you see it right here? That's where it is right there. Right? So it's very much cup-like. And again, it's a union between the 3 pelvic bones. So what are the 3 pelvic bones? Right. Perfect. Real easy. So when we talk about the structures in the muscles, talk about two major groups, the adductors and the iliopsoas groups. So who can name off a couple of muscles in the adductor group? Anyone? So adductor brevis, adductor longus, adductor magnus, pectinus, and gracilis. Okay, they all make up the adductor group. So what does that do? Does anyone know what that does to your hip? Gives the ability to do what? Move it, that's right. Which way? In and out, right? So if I do adduction, adduction, right? Both of those help those way. The iliopsoas group. Can anyone tell me what the function of that is? Anyone? Yeah, so the sales is a major part of the large muscle that runs from the transverse process to the L1 to the L5. You gotta go, what does that mean? So right up here, okay, so your spinal column. So L1 to L5, okay? And then you can see as well, if you look through the pictures, you can see all the adductors all lined up on the inside, right? And then all the outside of the iliopsoas group on the outside of the muscles. Good? All right. Does anyone know what a hip bursa is? Or a bursa? You have one in your shoulder.
It's a fluid-filled sac.
Fluid-filled sac. Girls basketball team. Yeah, that's right. Has anyone hurt their bursa in their shoulder or their hip before? No? So what happens if you ever hurt your bursa? Do you know?
It can swell.
That's right. It can swell, it can inflame, right? And it's very painful. So the bursa fluid is filled with sacs filled with synovial membrane, which produces synovial fluid. Now their function is to lessen the friction between the tendon and the bone. So if we didn't have that, what would happen, you think? So you think those two bones rubbing together, what would happen to the bones?
Friction over time.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of friction. They'll end up smoothing out, right? And then your bones become brittle. And lastly, I said there's 20 bursas around the hip, and usually formed around the joints, right? So all your joints have that. Fat pads. Fat pads are usually found around the sac of the joint, covered by the synovial membrane. As you can see here, that's where it is. So that yellow gooey stuff, that's a fat. Okay? The fat pads provide protection for the articular cartilages, like bubble wrap. So you guys, you know, your kids, those little bubble wraps like popping. That's all it does. Okay? It helps to support. All right, so let's stand up. So it's some treatment. All right? So treatment for the person depends on if it's infected or not. So anybody knows what a supine bridge is? No? All right, so everyone's going to, let's take two people come up here, right here. Right here. Just two people.
Press.
Perfect. Go ahead, lie on your back. This way. Perfect. Okay, so tuck your knees in. Perfect. Cross yourself at the shoulders. Push your hips straight up. So that's the supine bridge. So how we work the bursa, right, to get it more protective and more strong, is you go down to 6 inches, hold, and then come back up. So you would do that probably about 10 times. All right? Pretty simple, pretty easy. Stand back up. Give me another two people. All right. So very simply, we're going to talk about the straight leg raise. So go ahead and lie on the floor. So again, you'd be lying on the floor. You have 4-point contact between your hips, okay, and your shoulders. You just lift one leg, probably about 6 inches, even lower than that. Perfect. Hold, and then drop it down slowly to the floor. Okay, bring it back up. Hold, drop it down to the floor. Pretty simple. Very, very simple. Stand up, you can go back. Last one here we can all do together is the hip flexion. So all you do is just stand up, okay, raise your hip, hold, and then slowly come back down. That's it. Hold it up. Hold. Slowly go down. Very simple. Good. Any questions? Okay, go ahead. Human anatomy Jeopardy. Okay? Using this. I like your enthusiasm. Using the hip joint. So, Team A, Team B. Okay, start with your hands above your head. Okay, first person to slap their hands on the ground will get the answer. Good job, Serge. Okay, first answer. What are the main functions of fat pads? Tree.
One is protection for articular cartilages.
Nice, nice, nice.
One.
Second one. Where are fat pads found?
Right here.
We had it.
Oh, wasn't being used as stirred.
Go ahead, Serge. Go ahead, Serge.
What are the doctors?
That is wrong. Did anybody else answer? Anybody else answer? Tree.
It is around the periphery joint.
That's right.
Yes.
Where do adductors originate?
On the pubes.
On the pubis. On the pubis. What is the basic exercise that can help individuals bursa?
Arms.
I don't know who did that one
As-
first. Okay, Jenna.
What is a straight leg raise and hip
What is?
flexion?
That's right. Can you show me?
Straight leg raise?
Yeah.
Do I have to lie on the floor?
No, you don't.
Okay.
Straight leg
Your
raise.
leg is straight,
Yeah.
you raise it,
Yeah.
and then you lower it.
Nice.
Oh.
What's hip flexion though? You knew hip flexion.
You.
Got bend knee.
What?
Bend knee.
Now stand
There you
up.
go. The most common reason for osteoporosis of the hip.
You know weight discrepancy.
That's right.
Core stability.
Good, good. Pain associated with the hip can also be felt in what region? Brady.
Buttocks region.
That is wrong. You have to say
What is buttock region?
what is the buttocks region? What type of joint is the hip?
What is ball and socket joint?
What is the ball and socket joint? What prevents excessive adduction and internal rotation of the hip? Jenna.
What is the iliofemoral ligament?
Perfect. And a bonus question. What is a synovial sac made of?
I just felt clapping.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just felt like.
Anybody? Anybody?
The fat.
Fat
The
pads.
Fat pads.
The fat. No,
Yolk.
that.
What is
Can you repeat
yolk
the question? Can you repeat the question?
That's right. What is a yolk-like fluid? Good job. So that's our video for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Come in. I'll work you in. Do it. Do it again.